Arena Rule 17, handicaps. Handicaps in the arena are different than they are outside. It's a different handicapping system. So your arena handicap has nothing to do with your outdoor handicap. Just know that. So you take the 3 players on your team and you add up their handicaps, and that is your team handicap. And the team handicap must fall within the tournament limits, upper limit and lower limit. So if it's an 8 to 12 goal, your team must be 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12 in order to play in that tournament. Also with arena handicaps, they are based on 30 minutes of play. So that's 4 7.5-minute chukkers or 6 5-minute chukkers. That's what the arena handicaps are based on. So let's say you're going to play standard 4 7.5-minute periods. Let's say you're going to do a round robin. So now you're playing 2 7.5-minute periods against each team. You will cut the handicap in half for each little mini game. If you're playing an awkward number of chukkers in the arena for whatever reason, so you're not playing 4 or 2, because that's easy, straight math, you divide the handicap by 2. But let's just say you're not playing 4. Use the matrix to determine the handicap. The matrix is really easy. It's displayed on the screen here right in front of you. What you would do is you take the handicap differential between the 2 teams, go down the left side, and over to the right with the number of chukkers you're playing, and it will do the math for you and give you the proper handicap for that number of chukkers that you're going to be playing in the arena based on arena handicaps. Do not use the outdoor matrix. It's based on different different number of chukkers, different formula. Okay, so it's all arena, totally different game. With that being said, the handicap difference between the teams. The team with the lesser handicap will get the difference awarded in points, in goals. Okay, so if it's a 10-goal team playing an 8-goal team, the 8-goal team gets 2 points awarded to them to start with. 2 goals awarded to them to start with. And they count as goals that were scored on the field. Okay, same thing. The host tournament committee will decide if the event is going to be played on the handicap, which means the difference in handicaps of the teams will be awarded to the lesser team as goals or points scored, or if the tournament will be played on the flat, also known as the open. So for example, you could have a 10 to 12 goal tournament, which means all the team handicaps must be 10, 11, or 12, but it's played on the open or the flat, meaning if a 12-goal team is playing a 10-goal team, there will be no goals awarded. Okay, so obviously you'd want to be the 12-goal team in that situation. But the host tournament committee decides that before the tournament, and everybody knows before they enter. Okay. If your team does not fall within the lower and upper limits of the tournament, it may not play. Now, with that being said, if you have a player on your team whose handicap is changed during the event, for whatever reason, his handicap was changed during the event, you can still continue with that player. Let's say he was raised 1 or 2 goals. Okay? You can still continue with that player. You'll just have to give the extra goals to the other teams when you play against them. Okay? Now, if the tournament is an open and that happens, you'll just have to give the amount of goals that you're over the upper limit of the tournament. You'll have to give that amount of goals to the other teams. Okay? But you don't have to give the full handicap. So if it's an open and it's a 10 to 12 goal and you're a 13-goal team because your 1-goal player was raised to 2 during the tournament, and you're playing a 10-goal team, you just give them 1. You don't give them 3. Okay? Now, if it was a handicap and not an open, you'd have to give them 3. Okay? If you make any substitution on your team under these conditions, then the whole team handicap must meet the upper limit of the tournament. It must be between the lower and upper limits. Okay? You can't substitute and get the benefit of having that player raised while you're in the tournament, if that makes any sense. Okay? Now, still under these same conditions, if your player was raised more than 2 goals, then you can't continue with that team. You have to restructure the team to fit with it between the lower and upper limit of that tournament handicap. Make sense? So you sort of have a grace of 2 goals there that a player can be raised, but any more than that, and you can't do it. It's a short rule, simple rule. You've probably explained this 1,000 times to your friends. How does a handicapping system in polo work? That's how it works, plain and simple. And that is Rule 17, handicaps.